Welcome to another episode of Toro Podcast. We got our perpetual guest here, Roger. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Always good to be on. Come have a workout, and then do a podcast, man. It's good stuff.
Man. How you been?
I've been good, man. Living the dream, so to speak.
That's good.
All is well, man.
So today's episode, I want to talk about friendly rivalry.
Okay. All right. Friendly rivalry.
Yeah.
But we kind of have a little bit of that in the gym downstairs.
Yeah. There's like, okay, you can do 12, I can do 13.
Yep.
There's a little bit of that, and then chess and everything, you know.
Yep. So is there a story behind?
No, I want to ask you because you have a friendly rivalry with a mutual friend.
And they were full of tomfoolery and debauchery most of the time. And that didn't stop either. When I became like an adult, you think that kind of thing would stop, but it doesn't. Friendly rivalry for me was always really about it was about the most shameful competition you can compete in with a friend that could take the same. Yeah. So like, especially growing up, like playing ice hockey, like there would be times where like it wasn't unheard of to be tied to an old mattress outside and have someone shoot hockey pucks at you and see how many hits you could take.
I don't think that's so friendly. That's just abuse.
Well, no, if you don't beat each other up afterwards, it's somewhat of a friendly rivalry.
Yeah.
But I've had other friendly rivalries. Growing up, especially playing hockey as I got older, I had one friend that eventually became a physical therapist, a occupational therapist, and he was always pushing. Like he played hockey with us, and he was always pushing to like run. We would go to the park and just run up the hill endlessly, or it would be endlessly mountain biking, down 5 miles, then back up 5 miles, and that was But like I could never have a friendly rivalry in school because I was terrible at it.
Why is that?
Why was I terrible at school?
Yeah.
Oh, well, for a million reasons. For one, I just preferred to not read. I guess when I was little, I was okay. Like I was good. I did the bare minimum, right? Mm-hmm. So I wasn't like I never met someone who was like, "Yo, I'm going to get a better grade in math than you." I was like, "Fine, go ahead." I was never going to compete.
That wasn't something you're competing in.
No, yeah, it wasn't going to be a competition for me.
No.
Yeah. But like if it was like, playing a sport or, it was like on the street and like, I bet you that I could throw this refrigerator box further than you because we had those laying about.
Yeah.
Or I could light a bigger fire in the alleyway than you.
Yeah.
I bet you I could find a bigger trash can and lit a fire inside it, but a lot of fire stuff.
I see a theme.
Yeah. Just get a lot of trouble for that.
So tell me some of the things that you and Pierro have gotten into, because there's some good stories here.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot. Do we have him online yet?
I'm trying to get him online.
All right, so I'll start with a story. It all started 9 years ago when I went to pick my laptop up from him. Back when it was like you have to go like get it all set up.
Yeah.
So we just thought, the smack talk started immediately, and like we had the same things in common, like the same things, we didn't like Windows didn't do this, or I hate that the control keys here, it drives me insane. Like, what am I supposed to do with my thumb? It was just like we had the same crazy kind of obsessive thoughts.
Yeah.
That turned into something called the game, because Pierro, even though he grew up like in Jersey, he spent a lot of time in Philly, so he knows a lot of the same stuff that you and I are used to, the same acronyms. He knows how to use the word John, for instance. We could say the word John in one sentence 4 times and have meaning.
Yeah.
Like between us. So his, like he just clicked. So at first, we just started, a lot of jokes were going back and forth, and then the game started. It kind of appeared out of thin air. But the game really is the ultimate goal of the game is to be the winner by way of public shaming and humiliation. So, because he knew he could take it. So, like, there was one time, and it was constantly, like, we would, like, steal stuff from each other's office, or, I would, like, he would lose a bet, and I'd make him do something like hold the door for me all day, and I would get over my desk or something. But the one that really kicked off the game was when I played a joke on him when it was Halloween, and he always came into the office like insanely early before we were like hybrid remote.
I love this one.
Yeah, and I brought this scary ass clown mask in with me at like 6 a.m. Parked my car around the other building so he wouldn't see my car there, and I hid behind the door that only he would go in what he calls the Batman entrance, which is the side door to get to his office. So I just stood at the top of the steps behind the door and waited for him with the clown mask on. And it was funny because one of the project managers saw me put the clown mask on and standing at the door, and he's like, I'm not even going to ask.
It's Roger being Roger.
Yeah, I was like, shh. But Pierro opens that door and sees me with that clown mask on, and I have video of this. And he screamed like a girl. It was awesome.
That is awesome.
But then that started, the game kind of turned into like a war. It was like a theater of war at that point.
I think we got him on the line.
We do have him on the line.
Yeah, I was on the other line.
What's up, man? You're on the podcast.
Yo, what's
I'm
up?
Live?
You're live, man. You're live. We're already talking about you.
live and direct. Only good things, right? Only good things.
We're talking. He's just wrapping up the story of Halloween with the clown mask.
Go for it.
The game.
Oh, go for it. Yeah, this is a good one. I wish it had video because
I do. We can put the video on here for the public to see. It's not a problem, P.
You know what? Can you just play the audio from the video? I think that
you want me to play video of you screaming like a girl on the podcast?
All right, I'll say this. I did force you, and Roger agreed. Right? I was like, dude, you gotta take out the part where I flipped on you, and you gotta cut that part out at least. Keep the scare. That's fine. But there were some choice words after that for sure.
we were talking. We were trying to figure out when the game actually started.
Like when the friendly rivalry started, like where you guys go back and forth.
When the game
9 years ago, right?
It had to be
going on that long.
It's probably been about 9 years. I mean, as long as you've been at GS, I would say probably like 6 months to a year. I don't roughly somewhere around there. We connected up right about then, right?
Yeah, well, tell me if my memory of the I'm starting to come back to me when the game was created. Tell me if my memory is correct. The first day I came into the office, like that, like holier than thou rivalry movie music played when we saw each other, and we were just like, it's on, and we had a nod, and it just accepted the game.
I would agree. I would agree on that.
So
that was a long time ago, 15 years. I finally logged into LinkedIn, and I had all these messages. I'm like, what's going on? I kept getting these pop-ups. Usually, my phone is always dinging. So I finally log in. I'm like, what's going on? They're like, hey, congrats on your 15 year. I was like, geez, it's been that long. Raj, how long has it been? How long is it? Is it 10 years?
9
for you?
9. I'm getting the book soon, man. I'm going shopping soon.
I was gonna say. So Meg and I were just having this conversation. I was like, where's the book? I didn't get a book because I'm pretty sure at the 15-year mark, don't I get like not a Rolex, but like a book. Don't I get a watch or something?
Timex.
yeah, Timex.
The little
Get a Casio,
calculator,
bro.
the Casio with
Get
the
a
calculator,
Casio and a paper award.
Dude, I would actually love that little Casio with the calculator. That's pretty legit.
Dude, that was like
very.
So
no, but I'm only half joking. Where's the book? Where do we get the book? Is it? Do they send you an email now? Because I remember there being, like, Greg used to give you that book, right? He'd hand you the magazine, right? And it had just a list of all the different things that you could get, right, based on your tenure. But I haven't gotten the magazine. So I don't know. I don't know if there's some site you got to log into. Because I was on the fence, like, do I want to get, like, the wine cooler? Do I want to get... Because actually the TV that I use in my office, the gaming TV, is what I got for, I think, my 5-year is what I ended up getting. And it's rock solid. Great TV.
You have a TV in every room of your house.
I do.
crazy.
I do.
The
And
TV,
no cable TV.
the TV that's hanging on in my office right now is actually from The Office.
Oh, get out.
So if you remember,
It's a good
our
story,
boss
yeah.
Norm had a TV in his desk forever, and one day he
Oh,
just
that
goes, "Hey, anybody need this?" And Davil and I were the only ones in the office, and I just go, "Yeah, I'll
Yes.
take it."
Yes.
And all I do is like take the TV and I'm taking it out, and I see Josh in the front desk just look at me like, "What are you
What are you
doing?"
doing?
And I was
Yeah.
like, "I swear to God, I have permission for this. Just don't tell anybody." And I bolt out of there.
I'm pretty. He brought that one. He brought that one from home.
Yeah,
Yeah, he brought that one from home.
but yeah, like
Yeah,
it's,
well, he's got that beautiful big display now. So yeah,
Yeah.
the other one was inferior, just taking up room.
yeah. So going back to the rivalries here, the games that you guys play on each other. That's what I want. I want
All right.
all the stories, because when I first started basically having Roger over, and then we created the group chat, and then Roger's like, "Oh, you're in the office, I'm in the office, and all that stuff, and this and that," and then I'm like, "I'm not in the office that day." That day, it clicked into me. I'm like, "Oh my God, what's gonna happen to my desk when I come back? I know these guys. These guys are like going on forever." Luckily, nothing happened, but I was like, "What did I get
I've
myself
been-
into?"
It's not that I've been nice, Raj, to you. It's literally been a time constraint thing. But what I've done is I've tried to incorporate. I feel like we've pulled other people in
We have.
right? And so there's definitely some, Team Pierro, Team Roger, going on there. But I need to allocate some time for something new, because it's been a while. It's been a while for sure. And I've been thinking about it. I remember one time I was working on, this was a good one. I never actually finished it. So I said, here, I'll share this one. So I had a PowerShell script that I could deploy through PDQ, right? And I was going to deploy it to Roger. So every time he booted up his machine, it would play the Star Wars theme, right? In beeps. And it was hilarious. I got it. I was so close to finishing, and then I got sidetracked. I never came back to it. So matter of fact, I got to dig that up and make that.
I would prefer that happened.
Right?
I had once a coworker that I stuck the little dongle behind his PC when he wasn't there, and I would just move his mouse every once in a while behind the wall. That was a fun one. Another one is I installed a script in his machine that would open back then the CD drive on his laptop every 3 minutes, and then it's like every 2 minutes, and then every 1 minute, and then it's like every second. It was just like, and he's like, "What is going on?" Like driving him crazy.
You were built for the game, Jose. You were built for the game for sure. You know what? I'm definitely going to allocate some time, because, like I said, it's been a while. It's more just breaking chops daily. When something doesn't work, I get the red arrows for sure. I get screenshots of what's this bunk. Just random.
There's
random calls.
actually no meaningful conversation in our chat thread if you go and look in our chat thread.
It's
a dude flipping a desk. I can't deal with this anymore. I want a new laptop. This is bunk. What are you thinking?
This is terrible. And the red arrows increase day by day.
But one of the arrows.
What is the red arrows?
So when Pierro's team got larger, I was at a I don't have enough players. He does. So I had to either try to start converting guys onto my side, where I did get one of them for a while. I got him to change my machine name to Darth Vader until Norman Pierro found out and changed it back.
All of one day.
One day I did convert one, but the red arrows is whenever anything goes wrong and I can identify that it's an IT, like it's an infra thing.
Yeah.
I send a screenshot with as many red arrows on it as I can find, pointing out the issue in steps.
Oh God.
And if I don't get back to him for like in a couple hours or a day, then just more red arrows, right? The screenshots just get filled with red arrows.
So now we know what he does his whole day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A good portion of my day can be devoted towards finding issues and pointing them out loudly. But let's just step back to the retribution I faced for the Halloween prank I pulled on Pierro. So after he screamed like a girl, his manhood, like I took his man card basically, right? In order for him to get it back, he had to pull something on me, and he did. So he knows that I cherish my clicky mechanical keyboard and mouse, gaming mouse in the office. So he took that, but he's like, I didn't take it, and this went on for
I don't know who took that.
Went on for
weeks.
Don't know
who took it.
I still don't know who took it. My mouse and keyboard were replaced with one that looked like someone spilled food on it. And I was forced to use it because when I would go, if I brought my own one in, they just would take that one again. and a week later, a little map on a sticky note shows up on my desk and says, your keyboard and mouse are here. And I'm following the map, and it wasn't specific. It was kind of like a search and find another map, find another one. And it pointed to our CEO's office. And I got another note saying you need to check in there. So like 2 weeks, I walked by and like looking when he wasn't there to see if I could see my keyboard or mouse. And this went on, and
straight out of like Office Spaces. Like, I heard you have my stapler.
Like, do you have my stapler? So I finally couldn't bring myself to pillage our CEO's office for my keyboard or ask him about it.
I walked by Roger and I saw him from all the way down the hallway. He was staring. He was sitting at standing right out front of Bob's office, just like looking into it. And I immediately head right for him, and he's like, dude, is it in there? Is it in there? And I'm like, I don't know what you're
just
talking
egging
about.
Him on.
Just his face was priceless.
It was so. I couldn't bring myself to go in there, and he wouldn't budge, man. So I was like, what can I do to get my favorite, mechanical keyboard back?
Yeah.
And he's like, you gotta shave lamb chops into your beard.
I remember this.
So the next day I came in with lamb chops and earned Pierro's respect, and he was like, you take the game seriously. That was the point at which we knew.
He really did. At that point, I was like, all right, you got this. You got this.
It's also when we kind of realized that the game could get insane because we were so serious about it. For the longest time, knowing where each other lives is probably a bad idea. Because I will throw water balloons at Pierro if I know where he lives.
Well, it got so bad, right? To the point where you're like, are you kidding? Is this a joke? So we couldn't take anything seriously. And
it was hard to work together. So he'd be like, "Yo, can you hook?" Like he would send me. He's like, "What do you think about this email template?" I'd be like, "Stop messing with me." We couldn't get any work
and I'm like, "No, I seriously need your help. Like for real." He's like, "Stop messing with me."
So now we have a key where we say "game off." That's like a serious thing. It means the game is off. You can't start playing the game. Or we have another part of the game which is like psychological torture, where we call it the long game. So like right now I'm planting a seed and no one knows about it but me, and it's going to come out later.
Wait, come on. Shed some light on your seed.
That's the point of the game, man. You don't give your master plan away.
This is him planting the seed, by the way, right now. He's planting the seed.
So the other
what
thing
you don't know is that it's actual seeds and it's bamboo in your backyard that's going to take over your whole backyard.
That is a thing. Oh my God. I had a fun neighbor.
Dude, Pierro, tell the story about how you used to shine lights in your bedroom window.
Oh my God, I can't.
That was awesome.
You know what? I don't even want to go into it because it frustrates me to no end. But it was, I can tell you, it was it's in my top 5 worst experiences ever. Like when I see people that are like, oh, I've had bad neighbors.
Yeah.
This is next level bad neighbor. Like, I mean, there's things that like I can't even go into. It's just that bad. But I mean, he finally moved out. He is gone, and it's been a lot quieter for sure. But it was daily torture and torment. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I mean, it just totally insane. Totally insane.
So because Pierro, like, you know, his family lived next door, like I was so hype at one point, like I was ready to go over with a ski mask and just beat this dude with a wiffle ball bat and roll out real quick. Like it was bad. Like
we had a bad neighbor in Philly, so we well, you know, he lived in the same apartment basically building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it was like a whatever. You know, two floors, and we lived on the top floor, and he lived on.
Yep.
And he basically would come at like 5 a.m. when he needed to go into work and knock on our door because he couldn't drive very well, so he couldn't get out of his spot when you park too close to him. So he's like, you know, he would come in and yell my dad's name, like, Don Pierre, like, you need to move your car. You know, and just like every day would be like something, and he wouldn't like it if you parked in his spot because that's the spot that he could get out the most, even though it's street parking, anybody can park there.
Right.
And it was just like one of those things that he's just like, my dad used to call him Lumpy because that was the name of a dog that he had as a kid that wouldn't let you pet him because he would bite you.
What a great pet.
Yeah, no, it was like one of those. It's like, yeah, he's just angry all the time. I don't know why.
That was this guy. I mean, it's very similar stuff where, you know, I would talk to him real nice, right? Like I would be cool, calm, and collected. You know, the whole kill him with kindness thing, right? Because at the end of the day, I mean, look. It's anyone that knows me, anyone that knows it, I'm a pretty easy guy to get along with, right? I don't start problems with anybody. I don't gossip. I don't do that kind of stuff, right? And you know, so I'm asking him, I'm like, you know, what is your issue? I still, to this day, have no idea what this guy's issue is. Like, what his major all it was is that, you know, me being friendly with him, right? And, you know, he was one of those people that just, you know, kind of forced himself on people. And I just, like, I didn't want to be best friends with the guy, right? Because we didn't click. Like, he, you know, he was older. He had his, you know, he just had his own things kind of going on. We didn't have any similar interests. It was, you know, but he really wanted to be friends really bad. And the only thing that I could think of is that I just kind of, you know, he would say, oh, let's go to the casino, let's do this, let's do that, and I would kind of brush it off like, you know, I got plans, I'm doing stuff with the kids. And I think after a while he got the hint, and it just infuriated him that I just didn't want to be friends. And I think that's what started the whole thing, which to me it just goes back to the level of insanity, right? You know, but I was still being cordial, like, hey, how you doing, how's the kid, how's your wife, you know, like I was still being cordial. I just didn't want to hang out. I didn't want to be best friends. That was really it. Like,
so what I'm getting from this story is that because you don't come here to work out, you don't want to be friends with me.
Well, no.
I'm just messing with you.
So here's my take on it, Pete.
Really, that's just pure laziness on my part. I just, you know, I do my
with
little yoga here, right? You know what I mean? And you guys are, I envy you guys, honestly. Like, I wish I could push myself to stop being so damn lazy, you know?
So here's my take on your neighbor thing, right? The first time, so first off, anyone you know that wants to be your best friend really bad probably means at some point that you're going to be in a ball gag in their presence, right? So that's a no-go, right? That's a no-go all the time. The first time I knew something was really wrong was when you told me the story of how he told you how he had a toothache, got the pliers out of his toolbox and pulled his own tooth out of his head.
That is a
red flag.
True story. This guy, okay, so he was deathly afraid of the dentist, right? And so, I mean, it was insane. I was like, he's like, oh, my tooth is bothering. He's like sending me text message after text message. And, I would ignore him for 3 days at a time. And, finally he sends me a picture, right? Because I said to him, I'm like, why don't you make a dentist appointment like, a normal, human being, right? Yeah, make a dentist appointment. Go get it checked out. Stop crying about it, right? And so he sends me a picture of just a tooth and a pair of pliers, and I'm like, I thought he was joking. I thought maybe his tooth, fell out or whatever, right? Or maybe he got it extracted at the dentist, and he was joking around, right? So, I hit him with a question mark. And he's like, I ripped it out with pliers, just to shed some more light on like the kind of person that we're dealing with. Yeah,
I feel like he was a psychopath. So was it like, did he? I bet he had like a naked pic to send to you queued up, dude. It's like a psychopath. Like, I bet there's some crazy other pics. So all you got was the tooth.
Well, and I blocked a lot of it out at this point.
Can't bear to handle it anymore.
I can't even.
It's called repressed memory for a reason.
It really is. And I'm not even kidding about it. It was that bad. I mean, some of the other stuff is where I live, the driveway, like we're really pretty close together, right? Mm-hmm. So like his driveway kind of leads up to the side of my house. There's maybe about 6 to 8 feet of my property and then his, right? And so what he would do is he would pull his car into the driveway. He would put these giant spotlights on top of his car and shine them directly into my bedroom window. And he went out at one point, and I have all this on video too, by the way. If nobody believes me, I do have it all on video. He would at one point he had like 4 or 5 lights. He had extension cords running, and I'm talking the brightest lights that like you could imagine. Like if you were on the moon, I would assume you could see these lights. That's how bright they were.
You put some effort into it.
He put effort into it. Yeah, real effort. I mean, I had, the blackout shades. So, the curtains. So it didn't impact me. But, like, this guy would be out there at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And then what he would do is, this is the one that he really got me. Because when he figured out the lights didn't work, right, because we had the blackout curtains, I guess he kind of figured it out. It's not really bothering us, right? Mm-hmm. Then what he started to do is he would set his car alarm off repeatedly, like every 3 minutes, okay? And mind you, this guy didn't work. He had no job. He was a night owl. He was up all night. He would systematically, every 3 to 5 minutes, have his car alarm go off, to the point where all of us had to buy earbuds to be able to sleep at night.
Oh, Lord. That is the neighbor of hell, man.
It is. It really is. Like,
I mean, you see videos online. That's straight up there.
And I mean, I'm not. That's not even the half of it.
Our neighbor was not that bad. I mean, like compared to that. We had we had a phone plug, like the little phone jack. That was in our apartment, and when we called abroad, we noticed that the bill never came for those calls. And so we're like, oh my God, we found the magic plug. Like any other phone in the house, the bill would come to us, but when you use that phone in the kitchen, the bills is not coming to us. Right. So we're back then, I mean, like coming from long abroad, distance. Right? You're buying like phone cards and, like it's like a time thing and, it's a whole thing calling abroad, right?
Yeah.
We're calling abroad every single day. It's like, like, like how you doing? What do you get up to? What's the weather like today? Like back then it was like straight to the point. How's this person? What's this? Business, blah, 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 done, bye. Mm-hmm. But when we found the free phone jack, it was like, a month goes by and the neighbor comes up and he's like, you guys are from Paraguay, right? And we're like, yeah. Well, I got all these all these things on my phone bill that says calling to Paraguay. I'm sure it's you. Like, what the hell, you know? And we were like, oh, we didn't know. Like, basically, it's like it's a phone jack on our. It was like $400 in like
Oh my God, yeah.
1998, $400. I mean, and we're living in like a little where
Living it
the
up.
rent 1 month was like $400. You know, like
Oh, jeez.
yeah, no, that was rough.
That's how
We had to pay
I-
for it.
Well, here, how about this? One time I had him on camera at like 3 o'clock in the morning, going through my mailbox. Creepy. Talk about creepy. I get woken up by my Blink camera alerting me that someone's out front of my house. Also, he would randomly, so he would walk out into his driveway, and he would, because I had security cams up. The only reason I had security cams up was because of him. And it infuriated him because he couldn't, I guess, torment us to the extent that he wanted to because I had security cameras out there, right? But he would actually talk to the security cameras. He would go out there and he would say, when I see you tomorrow, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I mean, he would literally threaten me on camera. I mean, it was... It's just next level. I mean, Raj, what am I forgetting? Because there were so many different.
How many
things that
years was
happened.
this?
This went on for almost 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
I finally had to hire a lawyer to help me. I was making police report after police report. Oh, here's a good one. We had a little fire. We have a little fire pit in the backyard, right? And, we would hang out with the kids, roast marshmallows, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And, totally legitimate setup. There was nothing, illegal about it, So every single time we would light a fire in the fire pit, he would call the fire station. I would have 2 fire trucks at the house. He did it so many times that they told him if he were to call again, they were going to start billing him for their time. That was the only thing that made it stop. That's how many times he called them.
Jesus.
Could you imagine? I mean, and this is just the things that I'm remembering right now. I mean, think of this over 3 years. I mean, all the little things. I mean, it's really, I could go on and on and on with the
He
the
like
torture.
got a surveyor once to come out and say that Pierro's fence was on his property, but
Yep.
in a flash of what is right in the universe, they were like, "Sorry, this is actually on your fence is on his property. You have to move your fence."
That was awesome. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. And you know what I did? I didn't even make him rip it out to try to kind of piece everything up.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even make him rip it out. Didn't even make him do that, and he still continued. So at that point, then I pushed. But I was hoping like, oh, maybe extend the olive branch, right? Like, look, keep your fence. I don't want to,
Yeah.
But like, at some point, it's people just take kindness for weakness, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it just wasn't the case. So finally, I had to get a lawyer. I had to get the police involved, and it sucked, man. It was a brutal 3 years. Like it impacted everybody in the house. Like I said, the kids, they weren't able to to get to sleep through the night, because he would just pick random days where he would be setting off his his car alarm in the middle of the night over and over and over again. I mean, it was just brutal.
Wow.
Absolutely brutal.
That's
yeah,
crazy.
It was a lot. Crazy.
Some people just need like a beat down. Like, guarantee if we would have rolled on him, it probably would have helped.
Well, so he is. So he actually moved out of the state, which is great. Because he was, I guess, friendly with one of the other neighbors that I'm also friendly with. So he gave me a heads up. He was like, "Hey, I just want to let you know, like, he's planning on moving out." And I was like, "Oh my God, thank God!"
Because Christmas came early.
I settled all of the court cases with him on the, assumption that, he was going to be leaving, right? I was like, look, I'm willing to square everything up, with the courts and everything like that, as long as he leaves. Like, he has to move.
Yeah.
I'm not moving, right? So eventually I got him. I pushed him out. Like, he didn't have a leg to stand on. He had done so many things, and I had done nothing, right? All I'm trying to do is make peace. And, like I said, look, for whatever reason, we don't have to be friends. We don't have to be enemies. We could just be nothing, right? You don't have to say anything to me. I don't have to say anything to you.
Yeah.
Stop wasting your time, right? And, this doesn't need to be a thing, essentially, right? And he just kept at it until, he was ultimately forced to move, So
That is
crazy.
It was crazy.
It really was. It really was. It makes me sad even thinking about it right now. Like
Sorry we called you to make you sad.
Yeah.
Now, you know what, though? Like, he doesn't live there anymore, so you should now be happy, right? Like, go look out the window and remember, like, that light that used to shine through at 2 a.m. through the edges of your blackout curtains. Like, I'm sure a couple times you woke up thinking, like, is there an alien spaceship out there that's come to, like...
Well, definitely the first time,
yeah.
Yeah. I didn't have blackout curtains at that time. That was one of the reasons that we got them, But, it did. It absolutely looked like an alien spaceship in the middle of the night. So that was fun, for sure. That was fun. So I make it a point now, like the new people that moved in, it's hi, bye. That is it. Like, I try not to even make small talk.
That's how I am.
I don't even want to open the door, and they are the best neighbors. I don't even know their name. I don't know their kid's name.
It's a shame that's your requirements.
And
the nameless
they are
quiet
perfectly
folk
fine
next
with
door.
it.
We talked about this with Roger before about neighbors, because like my neighbors, I mean, they're nice, they're friendly.
Awesome. Yeah.
But, like at the same time, like we see them once a year or twice a year, right?
But your neighbors
That's
invite
the
you to
best kind of
parties
neighbor.
where
Yeah,
you can
they
drink
invite-
and do
yeah,
headstands. You have a great neighbor.
No, it's a great neighbor. They invite us when they have food and alcohol, and I'm cool with that, But we barely know. And then they're from Philly, so their Philly friends come up, and it's like, what? You guys are neighbors, and you're not in each other's ass every day? Like, what is this, right? Because in Philly, it's like like you go back and forth. You just storm into the door. You don't knock. You don't do it, especially back then.
That's why we had
God.
screen doors. Screen doors were the buffer when you knew someone was coming in your house.
Yeah, the screen door was a buffer. Well, you know what? And that was a thing that Meg didn't understand, right? So I grew up in the city as well, right? And so, to your point, everyone would just kind of, come and go as they please. There was no, like, knocking on the door. So my mother would come over to the house, and she would just walk right in. And this was like a big point of contention for her. She was like, your mother just walks in, and sometimes the laundry wouldn't be folded or whatever, it would still be sitting in a basket, and my mother would make little comments.
I had same thing in my house. Same thing. With my family and all that stuff. We had to put a stop to it. It's like, nope, you got to call before. And if they come, our house has to be clean, because it's never too clean, because they'll find something and they'll make remarks, and it's just
exactly thing. But that was an awkward conversation I had with my mother, because she is she has a way with words, right? And she just speaks her mind. Whatever comes into her brain at that second, she just kind of says. But it was a fun conversation. But I landed on the same thing. I was like, look, can you just not even call? Can you just knock? But even that, like, it gave me like anxiety.
It's not that we're gonna say no, but like basically, same thing. Like, if my parents want to come now, they're like, hey, we want to come over to do whatever, right? Like, and it's just a courtesy thing. Like, tell my wife, like, hey, by the way, my parents are coming, And so she knows. It's the same thing if Roger freaking comes in at 9 a.m. every single Saturday. I still tell my wife, Roger's coming over just so she knows, you know.
And
like,
I still check with Jose the night before if it's still
like
okay
he
to come
still
over.
checks
at 9
over.
o'clock.
It's like, is this still okay? Like, what time are you thinking? It's like, fuck, dude, it's the same fucking time every day, every single Saturday. I don't know what you're talking about, but he's being respectful.
So I come from the opposite side of that, right? Like, so I actively don't let people come over there. Well, it wouldn't start with me. It's really like just the lessons learned from letting family members over too much. Now, like, there's certain people are not allowed in.
Yeah,
you're not allowed to come in. Like, they'll be like,
this.
what can we come over for Christmas? Nope. And you lost that privilege. So I was telling Pierro, dude, we legit canceled Christmas. Like, we're like Halloween. We're like, it's over.
Talked about this.
Like 2 days before, we're like, nope. Everyone started arguing. We're like, fine, go have it by yourself.
Yeah.
And that happened. And
one year we just went to Mexico for Christmas. We're awesome. Like, that's it. No, we're spending Mexico and Christmas, just us, with no kids at the time. I think. Well, no, maybe we had Ali already, our oldest. But yeah, like it was like, that's it. No, we're not doing this. You know.
The holidays are about resolving beef, and they usually take some time to do.
It's family, man. Like it's crazy, you know. At the same time, you know, it's like, all right, you know, I don't know how to put it.
Blood, right? And I know Raj feels differently about.
I disagree.
I totally disagree.
I think I'm in the fence between you and Roger. Like there is that thing of like, their family and all that stuff, but at the same time, recognize that, you know, if they have their faults and all that stuff, there's boundaries that you have to respect. And I think now it's all good, right? Like there's no like issues to be had because everybody's civil about it.
Oh, good. Now
but
that
like
I've removed a few family members from my life, it's been great.
All you have to do is, you know, like hit them a couple times and then they learn their lessons.
No, I legit believe you choose your family members. Like I don't.
But that's
the
thing. Like you're
into it.
The thing that I'm saying, like basically, once you get married, once you have kids and all this stuff, like that's your family. That's your family.
That's your family. As I'm saying, I chose that family. Everyone else that comes with that union, it needs a vet. It needs to be vetted by me.
I love it.
They have to pass the test first.
And it's a culture thing too, because I guess it is American, and fuck yeah, I'm American. But you know, like my brother makes fun of me for that. Like it's like, oh, you're such an American for you know, like you know, like the way you behave or the way I say, you know, do things and whatever. I don't care. Yeah. I am.
I'm gonna go clean all my guns while I'm swimming in my pool.
No, but like it's just a culture thing. Like over there, it's like all about, you know, the mom, the dad, you know, all the stuff. Yeah. And I think it's starting to, you know, like they're starting to get it. Like I mean, this is probably gonna rile some people up because they listen to podcasts. But yeah, like they you know, like my sister is living with my parents are living with my sister, right? Like they come here 6 months, they go over there 6 months, and now she's at the point where she's like, we got to find mom and dad an apartment. Like, and I was like, I told you so. Yeah. Like, I was like, I told you that's not gonna work. You know, like they're, you know, two women in one kitchen don't go together in one house. You know.
Well, Raj, I mean, you can talk to that one. I'm of the opposite mindset. So I was actually looking at, you know, getting another house with, like, you know, a mother-in-law suite and, you know, kind of pulling everyone together.
Don't do it.
And
Don't do
Meg
it.
shot it down hard. She was like, no way, I'm out. If you try to do,
don't do it.
That's how bad it got.
Listen, it's better to literally purchase at the high end of the thing. Like, just buy another house, take the hit, and just give it. Like, that's better than having like someone in your face all day.
Oh yeah, like we have. We have a detached garage. We talked about this, right? Like, we have a detached garage, and there was talks of maybe converting that in an in-law
Even that's too close.
apartment.
They can walk to
and,
the house.
and I just thought, like, we're talking about it, and we're like, I just thought about, it's like waking up in the morning and they're in the patio, like waving at us in the kitchen. And it's like we like
Going swimming today?
yeah, like I was like, no, that's way too close.
I mean, I'm thinking about it from the perspective of finances, right? Like, it is so much easier, right? When you combine your finances, right? You can save more money.
No.
Plus, with the kids, right? You have the help.
Nope.
I used to think
Not
that,
worth
P.
it. Not worth it.
I live it right
No.
now. I'm living it. I'm living proof, right? So my both my parents got sick and had to move in with me, and that's funny.
That's
Get
different.
sick.
That's
right?
different. Yeah, like I would totally
Yeah.
do that for
But-
my parents, for her parents.
I
Yeah.
guess so,
Yeah.
but I have my mother-in-law, my mom, who is the bomb. She's one of my best friends in life. She's
the
awesome
best.
person. So she
Yeah.
she had to have a major back surgery, so she came to live with us. And at first, my wife was like, "Yeah, it'll be we're gonna charge her rent," which is awesome. I love that, and she does. But my mom has rent to pay now, but like it's not always like it's not easier, right? Because the expectations are never met. Like it's unless they're paying a bill, it's always, and not everyone does their own thing, so it's not always like it's not always good, but it is. I tend to do what's right.
I hear you,
Not what's
but
easy.
I'm on the opposite side where I'm really big into keeping the family close, right?
And that's
having
great.
Everybody really
Keep them
connected.
close, like 5 miles away.
Exactly.
That's
you can
close.
drive there.
That's
Well,
close.
You can get there on a bike. It's good.
We're literally a mile and a half away. And,
I'll tell you something that I this was the first episode of Everybody Loves Raymond, if you remember that show.
yeah, oh yeah, it was a great show. Actually,
So they're picking
reminds me
out
of
their
my mother,
house.
that woman. But
They're picking out their house, and they say, if we move too close, they're here every day. If we move too far, when they come over, they sleep over. It has to be a middle ground. And the joke is that they end up moving across the street, right? But like that stuck with me because I live like an hour away, and it's seriously like a great buffer where they don't come every day. And the times that they come, it's great. Like we can enjoy ourselves, we can have barbecue, we can, everything. But it's just like, that's a great buffer. 1 hour.
1 hour.
I like
That
it.
is a good buffer.
I
yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna.
But yeah, the whole mother-in-law suite, same with us. When we were looking for a house, we were looking for one that either had a mother-in-law suite or we can convert some place for that, because her mom is getting old, and at some point
Right.
we probably would need to have her here, and that's different. That's 100% different, because you do that because that's family. That's what you do for family.
Yeah.
But to just live here when they're up and running and they can be in your face, no
No doubt.
thanks.
If it's financially feasible, it's also okay when they need to live here to just have them still live there and just pay for all the services they need. That's also okay.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the other piece, right?
I would
Like,
do it if it
since my
wasn't so
father
expensive.
passed, right? Yeah, but since my father passed, right? Like, I gotta step in. I gotta help her with stuff, right? And she's working to get the roof fixed, and when it was leaking, I gotta go over there,
Yeah.
and it's a lot. Having her here would just make
It would make it easier
life easier
on
Yeah.
that end, but it's not going to make it easier on your marriage.
No,
For sure.
No,
And-
no,
Yeah, what's
and
the
that's
buffer?
what
Like,
matters.
how far away is it, P? What's the buffer? What's the buffer zone?
yeah.
What's your buffer zone?
He wants
For
5
me,
feet.
like I have no issue. Like, I'm so close with my family. I would have no issue with them being here.
I mean, like now, how long does it take you to drive there?
2 minutes.
That's the buffer zone.
Pierro and I ride our bikes there.
That's no buffer
That's all
zone at
close
all.
it is. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
good though. I mean for that,
Yeah.
when we had our oldest, we had her mom stay over for like a month or whatever to quote unquote help out, and it was hell. And I love her mom. Her mom is funny. Her mom is like this and that, everything like that. But it was just hell, because it's like you can't do
Buttheads.
anything. You can't walk around the house without pants. It's just like one of those,
That is true. That is true.
And
There's
and that's the reason that we didn't get an au pair either, because I want to walk around my house without pants.
Man, it's been so long since I could walk around my house without pants on.
Oh my God, man!
I've never
See,
been
that's
able
why
to.
Roger comes over now. He just wants to walk around my house without
Pierro thinks
pants.
I'm wearing pants. I'm not. I don't work out with pants on.
I thought you guys were joking when you're like, we don't wear pants either.
No, because you said like, can I be on the? I said you want to be on the podcast. He's like, and Pierro said, do I need to wear pants? And I was like, no, we don't wear pants. I don't know. No, but seriously, like, and then we had the foreign exchange students stay with us for 3 weeks.
Oh, that's awesome.
That
We
did that.
was cool.
That was pretty cool. But at the same time, 3 weeks of I have to wear pants around my house.
Is it worth it? Should I do good, or should I just continue not to wear pants for 3 weeks?
It gets awkward. Some things, you know.
Well, how does that work? So, did one of your kids go over to stay with
No.
them? Or-
So it was just like you host the. It's not like a student thing. It's a cultural exchange program. It's
cool.
you just host them here, and they're supposed to just live with you as they're as if they're part of the family. So they get a stipend of like, you know, a certain amount of money a week that they can spend on. So if we want to go to a restaurant, we just have to let them know, hey, we're going to go to a restaurant. It's probably going to cost X amount of money, and they have to pay for their own food. They give us a little bit of money for groceries and all this stuff. And, you know, and he just lives life. So he was here in the summer. He got to see 4th of July. We took him to fireworks, took him around to see, like, you know,
Where was
just
he
the
from?
city. From France.
Oh, that's so cool. That must have been awesome for him.
Yeah, and you know, we have to speak English the whole time to him. Can't speak French, and you know, it was just like a more like ingrained into the culture, like, and it was pretty cool.
That's awesome. You do that. Yeah.
What was the uncomfortable part?
You plan on having your kids do it?
You mentioned
at
an
some point?
uncomfortable part.
Having to wear pants.
Oh, okay. That was legit the thought.
I mean,
like,
there's
your
other
thought was
things.
that-
There's other things like, you know, you have your wife and you want to be, and it's like, you know, you can't be as free.
That is true. But do you plan on having your kids do something like that at some
So,
point? 'Cause
my
now
son-
I'm genuinely interested.
Yeah, my son is doing the German class now, and at the end of 8th grade, he has the opportunity to go to Germany for you know, a certain amount of weeks.
So is this something through the school, church?
Yeah, through the
Yeah.
school. This is through the
Oh,
school.
cool.
Our school system's awesome here.
And we're talking about it. I don't know if it'll happen or not, because as you know, my son has like mild autism kind of thing. So there's some challenges that I get scared of. You know, is it gonna go right? Like, is he gonna integrate? Okay, I'm not worried about him speaking the language. I'm not worried about him
Speaks like 3.
you know, he speaks more than that.
He's
But
like a
yeah, like
language
he
aficionado,
loves
man.
it. But yeah, he you know, it's just more like, is he gonna put on the jacket when it's cold?
Yeah, right,
It's
right,
small
right.
stuff like that
Right.
that worry me, or like it's people gonna find them, you know, I don't know, but like is people gonna find them to be fitting in? You know,
Yeah.
like there's certain things
Does he want to do it though?
he wants to.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
So
That'd be
my
awesome.
kids went. My daughter went to England to sing for Council Rock Choir.
Okay.
For like
Oh,
a week
that's
or
right,
two.
yeah.
That was awesome. It was a great experience for her.
Yeah.
So highly suggest it. But to go back to something I just heard you guys say, was putting on the jar. Are you going to put on a jacket? I always was confused as why my kids would never want to wear a jacket. So
Thank you.
So
What
I
is
was
going
always
on?
like, "Yo, it's cold. Give me my starter. Where's my starter hoodie?
my-
Where's my Eagle starter hoodie?" You know, even in the spring, I was like, "Where's my chalk line at?" But I asked my girl. I said, "Listen, like it's 23 degrees right now. Why you only have a hoodie on? Why don't you wear a jacket?" They're like, "It's embarrassing to wear a jacket."
My,
I was
my
like,
kids are
"What?"
the same
What?
the same way. They refuse to
Why?
wear coats. It's like it's not cool to wear a coat.
Yeah.
I have no
Well,
idea.
Because you got to carry it.
more
in
my
class.
kid is not so much like it's not cool or it's cool. He's just like, he's like, okay, it is what it is, and it doesn't cross his mind that he can go ahead and put it on to be warmer. Like,
There's more important things going on.
well, one time we went camping and we woke up and it was like 29 degrees, and it's really cold. And like we have 0-degree bags and all that stuff, so it's like, okay, cool.
You're prepared.
I go to his tent and he's outside of his sleeping bag. His sleeping bag is to the side, and he's just basically went in with his jacket, like face down, onto the sleeping pad. And that's how he woke up. And I had to like wake him up and put him in the car, like where it was warm and all this stuff. And just be like, why didn't you climb back into your sleeping bag? He's like, I don't know.
Yeah, like some of it, right? Like kids stuff. Like sometimes they just don't. Like I like I'm surprised by things that they do. Like I'm like, why would you do that? Like they just, I get it.
That's family, man. So yeah.
It's my daughter is such a big Eagles fan. Mm-hmm. And it's just like she really like this is her thing. Like I like the Eagles. But she like bleeds green. Like she had me at like the rally Eagles. House, which is like, yo, we need $250. We got to get to the rally house. I need the new Eagle sweater. I was like, all right. So she literally asked me one time when she was young. She's like the green light, is that because Eagle season started? I was like, no, sweetie, that means go. Only ever. Like it's not thought of as like when Eagle seson starts, not for the Eagles too.
Hilarious.
It really means go, like drive your car through. It's like I think it's for the Eagles as well.
Well, that's like me telling Pierro that the yellow light means speed up.
So fancy. Why don't do that, man? Yeah, exactly. It's like,
you're literally
get a little faster, man. Not driving in Philly.
By the time he drives, it's going to be,
Jersey
like all cameras every single where. So you got to.
Or maybe
there is already, but he truly believes that yellow light means.
He really ingrained that one, huh?
Yeah. It's going to be funny when he figures it out.
Maybe that's awesome.
With you in the car at the expense of your GTI. might have remind you.
Layla's going to be driving soon.
Yeah. Yep.
I can't even think about that.
I know.
3 more years.
Here's the thing, right? Now we're all at a point in our lives where we have the capacity to purchase a nice new car. Right?
No, I'm not.
Well, I'm just no. I'm saying you own one.
I am purposely trying not to buy a
I just
car,
bought a new car
and just put that money in an IRA or something.
I'm not saying it's not about the money. What I'm saying is
my first car was $600.
But
so I'm accounting for inflation here, and I say he gets $4,000.
Even so, they're going to have to learn on one of the cars that you own.
No.
So imagine your kids driving your Porsche around. That's all I'm saying.
It's fine. Mm-hmm. That's fine. But I'm just saying they're going to have to.
Let me tell you how it goes.
They're going to have to buy their own car. My son.
That's what I did too.
My son wants a Lada. Do you know what that is?
Yes, I know what that is.
No, what is that?
It's a Russian-made car. Like it's a piece of crap, basically. But like, he loves it. He's obsessed with it, right? And there's this one video now with the Ukrainian war of this guy in a Lada just like driving, and the Russians like throw this kamikaze like drones full of bombs, and it just explodes near the car. And the car just keeps driving, and he's like, "You see, it's so robust, and all this stuff." And I found like some of the people like imported here, they're not bad. Like some were like pretty cool. They almost look like the '80s BMWs, like the little square.
I pulled them up. Yeah, no, they were very cool looking.
Yeah, like if you look up like a 2007, they still have that body style, and it's pretty cool. There's some that were like 10, 11 grand, and I'm like, hey man, like if you can save up your money and actually buy something like that, go for it.
So living proof, my oldest daughter, right? She bought her own car. Mm-hmm. She worked. She hustled, worked hard. She was 15.
That's awesome.
She saved up, and then when the pandemic happened, and she couldn't work anymore, she was 19 years old, just finishing up, high school, first year of college. second year of college, pandemic assistance came. She took that money and bought the car. Right? So she just did it, like did a cash for cash swap, and she bought that, and like she did the whole thing herself. Like, and I was really proud of that. But I still remember very, very clearly in my mind when I was teaching her how to drive in my car, the first time she ran over a curb, and I felt in the frame of the car. Right? So, like, all I'm saying is prepare yourself for little mistakes like that.
Dude, I teach teenagers how to drive. Like I
Did
volunteer.
they mess your car up?
No,
Not at all?
No. So they bring their own car. I volunteer for this thing called Street Survival.
Yeah, it's awesome. I remember you saying that.
So I'm going to send Layla your way then.
Perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
No, seriously, go to streetsurvival.org, I think it is.
Okay.
And you find a thing near you. Usually it's like a Temple College or whatever. And we go there, and the first drill that we do is everybody get in their car. They bring their own car so they know the limits of their own car. It's a wake-up drill, which is knowing what the ABS feels like. So they stomp on the gas, go as fast as possible. At the cones that we set up, press the brake as hard as possible, and just feel what that stutter, like, of the ABS kicking in, it feels like. And everybody's like, oh my God, they're awake. 7 a.m., right? Nobody wants to be there. Their parents drag them there. And they're like, okay, this is kind of cool. And then, then half the group goes to classroom where they learn about safety, don't text and drive. Here's what understeer is. Here's where oversteer is. And then half the group goes into the course. And I'm an instructor for that. And basically some of the drills that we do is brake and turn, like avoiding like a deer or whatever, and then changing lanes, changing one lane, changing 2 lanes, like at speed, and understanding that when you're accelerating, the nose of the car is lighter, so therefore you're not going to get good steering. But if you let go of the gas and not even brake, the nose is going to come down, give you more steering angle, letting you change lanes faster, and all that stuff. We do a skid pad where they just go around, and if they have a handbrake, we'll pull on the handbrake, let them get the oversteer, recover, like if they're spinning out. We do psalms. We do all kinds of like cool drills where at the end of the day, they have a huge smile on their face. They accomplish something. They learn the car, their own car, the limits of it, and it's just amazing.
I feel like I want to take the class right now.
I was just going to say.
You just sold it to me, man.
Where do I sign up?
Yeah,
No,
that sounds like fun.
it's really, really fun. It's a fun thing to volunteer for, because it's like all these guys who like race and all do all the stuff for the club, and you volunteer your time to give back to the community,
cool, man.
and do for the kids and make it safer out there.
That's
and
awesome.
Not only that, they can take that certificate, send it back to their insurance, and say get a break on their insurance because they took some course on safety.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I might be signing Grace up for it.
Nice.
You might see me there.
Do they still do like the street racing in Philly at all? You remember they would have like like a Friday or Saturday night you go down.
That
Dude, yes.
that went.
It was just. Do you watch the news? They just did it on Broad Street like last night. It happens all the time.
I'm sure that happens. I never took part of that.
Oh yeah, no one's ever raced. Come on.
Man, Delaware Ave, man.
I'm sorry, I raced in actual tracks.
Jose never got himself in trouble. Like behind, like on Delaware.
No, 100%. Well, for me, it was Westchester Bike. I was in Howardtown and Alfred Levy. But yeah, like I here's a quick story before we wrap it up. I used to deliver pizzas after high school, and we had those magnetic things on our roof. But because I had a sunroof, like half the magnets wouldn't, connect to the glass. Right. And so as soon as I hit 60 on like a 45 or whatever, it would just go thump, and all you hear is like thump. And the magnetic thing would just fly, and cars behind me would be like, and I would go recover the light again and put it on the car. And then like one day the owner goes, why are all these signs scratched up? And I was like, I think it was that guy that left. I don't know.
Always blaming the guy that left, right?
Yeah, no, it was fine. All right, I think we're gonna wrap it up. That's an hour here. Thank you, Pierro, for calling in. You gonna be coming back?
Absolutely, I love it, guys. Yeah, let's keep it going.
Solid, man. Peace out.
Take care. Bye.
All right, guys. Ciao.